From the filming site of the classic hockey movie Slapshot in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, it's a New Year's Eve matchup in the NAHL's East Division between the Johnstown Tomahawks and the Northeast Generals. Welcome into Hockey TV and the First Summit Bank Arena at the Cambria County War Memorial. Ezra Gennello along with you for what promises to be a very exciting New Year's Eve matchup between the Johnstown Tomahawks and the Northeast Generals. Once again, welcome in. Happy New Year's for those of you tuning in from all around the world. And I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting. It's a tradition here in Johnstown, New Year's Eve hockey, a tradition that has treated the Johnstown Tomahawks very well. Their record in this game, 8-1-1. And you might be asking yourself, why are they so successful? I'm telling you, it's the home crowd. Pre-sale today was very good for the Tomahawks. 2,400 tickets around there, packing in a 4,000-seat arena, and that doesn't include the walk-up tickets. I was sitting downstairs pregame. Box office is busy. Tickets are being sold, and that just means more and more people are here to cheer on the Tomahawks. So if you ask yourself, why are they 8-1-1 in this game? You just found yourself an answer. Although this game is not just important because it closes out the 2022 calendar year, but it also closes out a two-game series this weekend between the Tomahawks and the Generals. Last night, the two teams went at it, a 7:30 p.m. puck drop right here at First Summit Arena. The game saw the Generals pick up the 9-2 win, their 18th of the season. That puts them in second place in the NAHL East Division. They leapfrog New Jersey, now with a record of 18 wins, 10 losses, and 3 overtime losses. And they put themselves, if the playoff starts today, they've got home ice advantage in round one, and home ice advantage should the Maryland Black Bears, the first place team, not advance. But that wasn't the only big thing that happened last night getting into second place. A lot of individual things happened for the Generals on the ice. You start with the first goal of the game, just a minute and a half in, Jake LaRusso. His 20th goal of the season, the first General this season to reach that mark, and it makes him tied for first place with a Maryland Black Bear in the entire NAHL in terms of goal scoring. You also have Dave Andrechuk, who entering the day had 118 career points in a Northeast Generals uniform. He picked up 2 points on a goal and an assist, and he now has 120 and is the all-time leading point getter in Northeast Generals history. He's got 120 points in his Northeast Generals career. I spoke to him pregame. Let's take a look at our pregame interview with Dave Andrechuk. Here with Dave Andrechuk. Dave, last night 2 points in the 9-2 win for the Gens. That gives you 41 this year in the NA. That's number 1 in the league. Kind of walk me through the success getting 41 points and leading the league at the halfway point.
Yeah, I mean, our power play has been working a lot better, so that's big. And then just, the teammates I've been playing with, Paul and the other wingers throughout the year have been a huge part. So I'm just, trying to continue to produce, and hopefully that number keeps going up.
In that 9-2 win, I said 2 points. You scored that 9th goal, less than a minute to go. It was your 120th career point as a General. That's number 1 in the all-time list for the organization. What's it mean to be able to produce so much for your team and help out and get this organizational record?
Yeah, I mean, it all goes back to Brian and Dibs, who, they give me this opportunity to play most of my junior career here, and I can't thank them enough for that. And then just my teammates around me have been a huge part, and it's a nice milestone, and just like I said, I just want to continue going.
Finally, second game of this 2-game set, New Year's Eve. It's a tradition here in Johnstown. Big pre-sale number for the crowds. They're 8-1-1 historically on these New Year's Eve games at home. What do the guys have to do to pick up the weekend sweep?
Yeah, everyone's really excited. I'm sure they're gonna be coming with a strong push. So we have to try to weather that storm, and it's gonna be a super fun game. So all the boys are pumped up for this one.
Thanks, Dave. Congrats on the record. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
For Andrechuk, it's not just 120 points in the organization, a feat he credited to the help from Brian Erickson, the team's head coach, and the general manager, Matt Dibble, for giving him the opportunity to play his junior hockey, majority of it at least, in a Northeast Generals uniform, but also 41 points this year. That is number 1 in the NAHL. He's been on fire this year, and you gave You heard him say Paul Minahan and the other wingers he played with. Minahan has been on his line for the majority of this season, specifically from the end of the NAHL showcase out in Minnesota and on when Minahan joined the Generals back from the USHL. And Minahan, he had a couple of points last night as well. He finds himself second place in the NAHL in point getting, and in third place, tied for second with Louis Boudon in Northeast Generals career point getting list. He's got 119 and can join his current teammate Dave Andrechuk in the top 2 with 1 point today. Let's take a look at our APT player to watch. That is Dave Andrechuk. Andrechuk, I said, the leading point getter in the NAHL, 41 points in just over 30 games. He's got a plethora of assists, and a lot of those go to Paul Minahan, who joins him at the top of the rankings. Jake LaRusso, he's got 20 goals this year. He's tied for the league lead in goals. He's also third place in the league in point getting as well. That means the Generals have 3 of the top 3 point getters in the NAHL. When Ryan Remick was traded to the Generals from the Chippewa Steel, I said on Twitter, they just made the strongest offense in the East even stronger. Well, these 3 gentlemen atop the league really shows how strong of an offense they have, disregarding some 9-2 score lines that they have against other teams in their division. So we got to see our APT player to watch. What about our Attleboro Sport and Spine chiropractic goaltending matchup? For the Generals, they go with the 2-year Gen Colin DeYoung. DeYoung this season, an 8-8 record with 1 shootout loss. He's got a .325 goals against average and a .901 save percentage. The 2002 birth year out of Canton, Michigan. He's uncommitted so far, but trust me when I say he's going to find a good place to play some college hockey next year, should that be what he chooses to do. On the other side of the ice, it's Alec Ragelin-Sharp. He got the start last night, and he's going to get the start again tonight. Now, this is not confirmed. He got the starter's net during warm-ups for the Tomahawks, though we haven't gotten their starting lineups just yet up here in the press box. Not sure if the Generals have gotten a chance to look at the line charts for the Tomahawks yet, but projected, we're going to see Alec Ragelin-Sharp, who lasted just under halfway through that first period after the Generals' offense just exploded. Let's take a look at our starting lines presented by Hockey TV. Again, these are projected for the Tomahawks, though we can tell you for the Generals, they go with Joe Schubert and Jacob Wilson, centered by Nick Ram, Matt Despirit, and Nick Recupero, who scored his first career goal in the NAHL last night, getting the start on the blue line for head coach Brian Erickson and the Northeast Generals. We are just about 10 minutes away or so from puck drop here at the First Summit Arena. When we come back, it's the Johnstown Tomahawks and the Northeast Generals going at it on New Year's Eve right here on Hockey TV. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just across the Delaware River from where we find ourselves in Sewell, New Jersey, for NAHL East Division hockey between the Philadelphia Rebels and the Northeast Generals. Welcome into Hockey TV and the Hollydale Ice Arena. Ezra Gennello along with you for a hockey game between 2 teams that find themselves at opposite parts of the standings. On one side of the ice, you have the second place team in the NAHL's East Division, the Northeast Generals. Through 32 games this season, they have 40 points in the standings with a record of 18 wins, 10 losses, 3 overtime losses, and a lone shootout loss that we'll get to in a bit. On the other side of the ice, in 6th place in the East Division, you have the Philadelphia Rebels. They have only 28 games played this season, 24 points in the standings with an 11-15-1-1 record. The Rebels, despite the fact that the calendar has turned over to 2023, still find themselves technically in the first half of their season. 60 games played in the regular season of the NAHL schedule, and they have 32 of them remaining on the docket. Last time out for the Generals was a 2-game series on New Year's Eve out in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, when they took on the Tomahawks, a two-game series that told two different stories. On Friday night, the Generals offense came out firing. They scored just a minute and a half into the contest, piled on 9 goals in a 9-2 win over the Tomahawks. But Saturday was a completely different game. A 2-2 game heading into overtime meant a 2-2 game heading into a shootout. 11 rounds later, and a goal from Johnny Ulichny, and the Tomahawks were the team that went away with 2 points from the contest. So the Generals split the weekend on New Year's Eve. That gave them 40 points, and it gave them second place in the NAHL's East Division, trailing just the first place team, the Maryland Black Bears, as they get ready for their first matchup of 2023. And I mentioned that powerful offense output on Friday night last week, December 30th, up in Johnstown. Well, they got production all the way up and down their lineup. First line, fourth line, forwards, defense. It didn't really matter. If you were wearing a Generals uniform, it seemed like you were producing on the offensive end. But 3 guys in particular this season have provided a lot of the offense for the Generals and are recognized at the top of the league leaders because of it. You start with the NAHL's leading point scorer in Dave Andrzejczuk, who this year has 42 points in 32 games played with 12 goals and 30 assists. He also leads the league in the assist category as well. Then Andrzejczuk is followed in third place by Paul Minahan, the man committed to Arizona State University. Only 29 games played this season as he joined the Generals halfway through the NAHL showcase in Blaine, Minnesota. But in those 29 games, Minahan has 39 points on 15 goals and 24 assists. But that's not just it. The two of them, they share a line together. They get a lot of points off of each other. Well, this third guy, Jake LaRusso, happens to be tonight's APT player to watch. He leads the NAHL in goals scored. He's tied for first with 20 of them in 29 games played. He's got 37 points. But he's played 26 games as a General, in which he's striking at a 1.38 points per game clip. That would rank first among players in the NAHL with at least 20 games played. Jake LaRusso, the NAHL's leading goal scorer, finds himself as our APT player to watch. So you've got the offensive superstars, I'd say, on one end of the ice for the Generals, but you also have some new faces. Last week, we got to see Nick Young, a 2006 birth year that spends his time with the Buffalo Junior Sabres U18 AAA team. He made his NAHL debut last week in Johnstown. In the Friday night game, he held his own. But tonight, we get to see another new-ish face in Jet Otwell. He made his NA debut earlier this year, right in this very building against the Rebels in the Friday night matchup that the Gens won 4-2. And he gets his second game of the season tonight against the Rebels once more. I got to talk to him pregame in our pregame interview. Let's take a look at our conversation with Jet Otwell.
Here with Jet Otwell. Jet, you're making your second appearance this season for the NAHL Gens. Your second game in the NA. We saw you in this building in Sewell against the Rebels back in October. Kind of walk me through the experience of getting your second appearance in the league and getting to travel with this Gens team.
The experience has been amazing. You know, these guys always make me feel welcome when I'm here, and I really couldn't be more excited to get out there for my second game and show the boys what I can bring.
It's been a little while since Gens fans at home have gotten to see you play. Kind of walk us through your game a little bit and what you try to accomplish when you're on the ice.
I'm a very fast, skilled player. I look to make plays out there and do whatever it takes for the team to win, whether that means defense, offense, anything like that. I'm just trying my best out there.
You said fast and skilled, 2 key words for this Gens lineup. One of the more offensive lineups in the NAHL. What are you expecting to see in tonight's game?
I'm expecting to see a lot of fast and skilled plays made by everyone on this team. It's a very highly offensively skilled team, and I think that's how we're going to control the game tonight. So I hope all the boys come out fast and ready to play, and I think we'll win this one.
Thanks, Jet. Good luck.
Thank you.
So we got to hear from Jet Otwell, and one of the things he said was he plays a very fast and skilled brand of hockey. something that a lot of the Generals on this roster can identify with and something that he expects to see in tonight's contest. Now, in the lineup for the Generals, Brian Erickson has listed Jet as the extra forward, which opens up the possibilities of playing with guys like Dave Andrechuk, Paul Minahan, and Jake LaRusso, who lead the NAHL in points and goals and assists. Also, Ryan Schelling, who's among the league leaders for rookies for total points scored as well. So a fast and skilled game of hockey coming up in the eyes of Jet Otwell. But that's not the only new face news that we've got this week coming from the Northeast Generals. Last night, the Gens announced the tendering of NA3HL General forward Nolan Zotter. Happy birthday to the Z-Bomb. He signs his tender with the Gens, and I can tell you, you're going to want to pay attention because, one, he's going to play in some NAHL games this season, and two, he's already the smoothest skating forward in the NA3. And when he gets to the NA, that game is going to translate to the faster paced level of hockey in the USA Hockey's Tier 2 Junior League, the NAHL. So last time these two teams played against each other, the Gens, they extended their win streak to 7 games. That's the longest it's been this season. They won the Friday night game 4-2 with Cullen DeYoung in between the pipes. And then on Saturday night, they won 2-0. Toby Hopp earning the shutout. Andrew Deladonna finding the back of the net. And the duo are looking to do the same thing tonight as the Gens, who lost their last game, are looking to start a new streak tonight here in Jersey. So when we come back, it's the starting lineups and the Attleboro Sport and Spine Chiropractic goaltending matchup right here on Hockey TV. Gens, Minahan, Andrechuk, Scott, Despirit, and Recupero. Andrechuk will take the opening face-off across from David Deputy. Puck is dropped or underway. Deputy wins it back. Face-off won by Sedlak. He pushed it forward for Oliver Band. Good stick by McCarthy to keep it out of his own zone. Now comes Andrechuk to Scott. A shot, he scores! Jared Scott, 2 goals, 2 games, his 7th of the season. And the Generals lead 1-0 just about 6 minutes in. Let's take a look at it at our University Orthopedics replay. Great play by McCarthy to cause the turnover in the neutral zone. Andrechuk finds Scott, and Scott finds the back of the net. The NAHL's assist leader picks up his 31st assist, 43rd point in game number 33. He leads the league in both those departments. Gone along, and I know that Brian Erickson, the head coach of the Generals, loves the physical play. 2-0 for the Ram brothers. Tyler Ram, a shot, he scores! Tyler Ram finds the back of the net, and the Gens lead 2-0. His first goal of the season. Let's take a look at it on the University Orthopedics replay. The Ram brothers on a 2-0. Tyler Ram says, I'm not sharing with you, Nick. Chooses to shoot and finds the back of the net. And poked wide. Some Midas, rather. Now Nick Ram, another try. Tried finding Jacob Wilson, though they couldn't connect. Philadelphia back into the offensive zone. Played in front. Spitznagel, a shot, he scores. A good zone entry by the Rebels on that far side. Watch Spitznagel find some open ice to receive the pass. And he found a way to get the puck behind Toby Hopp for the first time tonight. Doesn't go the way he wanted it. Now Kaminsky make that Deladonna into the offensive end. He's forced up the near side of his own zone. Of the offensive zone, rather. Now the puck goes to the near side of his own zone. Danubili back in front. Hopp makes the save. They score on the rebound. So a power play goal for the Rebels with 1:04 remaining in the second period, and this game is back to even. Let's take a look at it on the University Orthopedics replay. Great effort by Danubili to make his way into the offensive zone. He put a pass in front, and Hopp made the save on the initial opportunity, a redirection. And then Danubili was right there to clean up the garbage in front. Finds the back of the net, but they couldn't connect. Now Despirit across for Scott. Turning and firing, loose in the slot once more. Minahan controls on the near side. Cuts towards the middle of the ice. Poked off his stick and found by Oliver Band. Now Minahan to Andrechuk. Dave Andrechuk puts the brakes on. Shots! He scores! Dave Andrechuk. Is there anything this guy can't do? He leads the NAHL in points, leads the NAHL in assists, and now gives the Gens a 3-2 lead with 4:24 to go in this third period. Let's take a look at it on the University Orthopedics replay. Great play by Minahan to cause the turnover, and a great shot bar down by Dave Andrechuk. And the Gens lead 3-2. Yogi up to Hampstead. Near side, Deputy the one-time shot. Pad save made by Toby Hopp. 7 seconds remaining. Deputy leaves for Foglia. One more one-time chance. Dave Andrechuk gets in the way of it. And the Generals go home victorious.